What is up everybody, Adam Reed here from Reedical Media, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys a couple of tips and tricks and techniques to help improve your drone footage, just to take it to that next level, take it from your standard drone footage to your next level drone footage. Roll the intro. So I own a Phantom 4 drone. It doesn't really matter what drone you have if you're watching this video. It could be a Mavic, an Inspire, Phantom 4, Phantom 3, Phantom 2, you know, whatever. Is there just a normal Phantom? I don't even know. But first, let's start off with the camera settings. Now, if your drone is like my one, which most drones do this these days that people have, it can shoot 4K. A lot of people can't edit 4K or they can't shoot 4K on their DSLRs like me. So we shoot 1080p video. So it's just natural instinct to go, oh, let's choose 1080p on the drone. Ignore that. Don't do that. Always record in 4K. You don't really need slow motion when you're flying your drone. Shoot in 4K. Here is why. If you want to keep the wide angle and you've shot in 4K, you can downscale it to 1080p and it looks better than recording at 1080p and then just showing that. And this is my favorite thing about shooting 4K and editing in 1080p. You can downscale the 4K to 1080p but zoom in. And what this means is you can create different shots than just the standard wide angle shot that you see from every single drone. If you shoot in 4K, editing in 1080p, you can zoom in and it's like it's a helicopter shot and it looks amazing. And you can also fly at a safe height and then zoom in on stuff and be a lot closer to it and not crash your drone. The second setting that you should be considering is manual exposure. I've got a couple of clips here. This is one clip where it is on automatic exposure, coming up from behind this tree into the sun, and then it changes the exposure and it just doesn't look that good. And here is a shot with manual exposure. Bear in mind it is a little bit underexposed, my bad, but it looks a lot better than the exposure changing halfway through, because to me that just looks unprofessional, and that isn't what we're about at this channel. We're about being creative and professional and casual at the same time. Third setting that you should be considering is white balance. With drones, you'll probably find that you'll be filming a lot of sunrises and a lot of sunsets because they look dope. But don't leave it on automatic white balance because you are filming a sunset and you want it to be nice and red. If you select it to sun, it compensates for that redness in the sky and makes it less, which isn't what you want when you are filming a sunset. So I actually found that if you set it to shade, it increases the reds that it sees because there's not meant to be any reds. So that makes the sky like on fire and it makes it look so much better. So that's the third thing. Consider your white balance. Obviously you should try and keep it to the kind of light that you're in, and with a drone it's normally either sun or shade or cloud. But if you want the red in the sky, choose shade. Trust me, try it out for yourself, you'll see the difference. Now what you also want to do, which is, it's a little bit scary this one when you're new to flying a drone. On the Phantom 4 it has a mode called altitude mode. Now when you're new to flying a drone, you'll probably keep it in portrait, and then in open spaces you'll fly in sport. And basically those things have GPS tracking and GPS stabilizing and that kind of stuff. So it sits there in the air, right? At altitude mode, it holds that altitude, but if there is a breeze or something, it will go with that breeze. So you have to be careful about that. Just make sure you're in an open space where you can't crash it. What this allows you to do is you can set it to that height, and then you can just put it into altitude mode and then just hit left or hit right on your button things on your controller, and then it will just fly smoothly to the side without losing any altitude. The camera will stay flat, and that's how you get the really nice landscape videos, landscape videos like this one that you're probably seeing right now. And it's just really smooth, and it's good for when you want the wide angle of just everything, because you want to be like, hey, look at this mountain and that ocean and this lake below me, because you want everything in it and you want it to be nice and smooth. Portrait mode isn't fast enough. Sport mode, you'll tilt the camera and you'll lose height. So you want to be in altitude mode, so then you can go across. It may be called something different on your drone if you don't have a Phantom 4. It's practically the same thing. You'll be able to find there should be 3 modes: sport, portrait, and altitude. Choose altitude for the sick landscape shots. So here is my drone edit from just filming a little bit this morning with using those settings that I just told you guys. So let's check it out now. Alright, on to tip number 2. There's 3 tips, by the way, that I have prepared for you guys. Be creative with your shots. It's really easy for when you get your drone, because drones aren't cheap and drones are pretty cool, so you kind of just fly it and you're like, heck yeah, look at this sick aerial shot of stuff. Yeah, and then that's all you get really, and you get the same ones of those over and over and over again. Be creative by the way you fly the drone, the way you utilize your drone, and the way you use it to enhance your edits. And what I mean by being creative with your shots is think of new things to do, new ways to introduce the drone to your edit, new ways to utilize the drone with certain shots. It could be low. You remember, you can fly your drone low. You don't have to fly it really high. Flying it low is obviously a lot scarier than flying it really high where you can't hit anything. But do it and you'll find that your shots will just be like so much better, because you just get a little bit of a different perspective. Because if you're filming with your camera, you can sort of hold it here or here, but what if you wanted it like just, I don't know, like a meter above my hand? You can't do that unless you got like a crane or a jib or something like that, and they cost more money, but we have a drone, so just fly the drone there. That is my main way of being creative with the drone, is introducing it. You can push it away, you can zoom in behind you, you can fly kick it into the air. Do whatever the hell you want with it. Like, be creative, make that video a lot more dynamic, a lot more interesting, and you'll understand what I mean. Introduce the drone footage, film the drone, do different things like that, and you'll find that the edit will just be much nicer to look at. Here's the same edit with a different intro, more of like a vlogging kind of intro, and you'll just see it makes the video much more interesting to watch than just starting out with a drone in the sky. I don't think that looks as good. So flight low, get 6 shots, move on. Let's go. Let's watch the video anyway. I haven't showed you the video. Watch the video. Let's go. Alright, so we've just made it here. It's a pretty cool place. It's pretty different. You'll see why when you see the next couple of shots. But I hope they're good enough for you guys, and I'm gonna fly the drone now, so it should be pretty sweet. The third tip for today's video, and the final tip, is to not use your drone. Think about that one. That makes sense. How to get good drone shots. Don't use your drone. Let me explain. You've spent all this money on a DSLR. Obviously, if you have a drone, you're gonna have some kind of other camera. Not many people just own a drone and that's it. If you do, this tip is not going to affect you. But I don't, like, if you got a drone, you got a camera, come on. But it is to incorporate your DSLR footage into the same edit, because the drone gives a really cool perspective, aerial perspective, different kind of unique shots that you wouldn't be able to get it with DSLR, but the DSLR can get shots that the drone can't get. So introduce DSLR shots into the edit. If you are making a vlog, record you flying the drone and record the drone flying, like setting up the drone if it's a Phantom 4 or an Aspire 1. It just makes it much better and much nicer. So when I first got my drone, I went down to Woodside for a holiday and I made a edit purely made with the drone. I'm gonna overlay that video now, and like, it was a really nice edit. I loved all the shots, but once you get about a minute into it, you're like, this is a bit boring because it's kind of just like the same sort of aerial shots of things. And now here is the Murray video, which I filmed like one day after going to Woodside. We went up to the Murray for 2 weeks. So here's the Murray video, and as you can see, it's got the DSLR footage and the drone footage, and they work together to create this energy that you don't get from just filming with a drone. So what I'm trying to say is, utilize your DSLR as well as your drone. Don't just be like, heck yeah, I got this mad drone and it's gonna make mad videos for me. No, because your DSLR can do stuff your drone can't, your drone can do stuff your DSLR can't. So use both of them and make everything, if that makes sense. So here's the same edit that you have seen twice, but with that intro, with manual settings and DSLR shots, and you will just find that it's all gonna come together, it's gonna tell a story, and it will just watch it. You'll understand it'll be much better to watch than just a stock standard drone. So that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you liked these 3 tips. I hope they weren't too boring for you. I hope that they encourage you to think differently about your drone shots, your drone edits, and to not overuse your drone, because like, it's a fantastic piece of gear when you use it properly, or else your video just won't be as good as what it could be. It's about getting the true potential out of your video. But yeah, as I said, that's going to do for me today. Big stuff planned for this channel. As you can see, this is a different video. The vlogs have not ended. I am going to make vlogs when I'm doing something cool and interesting, rather than trying to make a video every single day, or just trying to make a video out of nothing, because I feel like it's not worth it. So I'll still be making vlogs, but when I'm doing something really interesting that I want to share with you guys. But apart from that, I'm going to be doing Premiere tutorials, Photoshop tutorials, photography tutorials, and cinematography tutorials, and videos like this, and discussing the ideas and theory behind certain things. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. I hope so anyway. Catches.
Got my coffee on the car floor. What's more, Triple J, ignorance today. Earbuds, earbuds.